Welcome to another A+ sim racing video. We are here in RaceRoom continuing the simulated driver career using the championship mode. Season 4 in the FR3 Cup, round 4 at Zandvoort.
15 minutes.
We're going to race for 15 minutes plus a lap. Mandatory pit stop on.
Here we go.
P4 on the grid as the lights are about to go out. Here we go. Once again, having a bit of struggle with the start in this car. Not spinning up my rears too much this time. I fell back almost two positions, making up one of them now.
Hold your line. Right side's clear.
Now we're in P5. Difficult track to overtake on, and we have cold tires, cold brakes, so we're just going to try and follow this train and not fall too far behind here. Not getting the greatest exit out of that turn. Got a little bit too close to the car in front and had to let off the throttle a little bit. And this is the hill and turn I have the most difficulty with in this track. I always seem to slow down just enough to lose the downforce, and I have to scrub off more speed because I don't have enough mechanical grip. And then I'll start to make up for it in the second half of this circuit. See the car in front just made a pretty big dive up in front and gained one position. So I think this is where I have an advantage. I can break deeper into the chicane here than AI. And then again on the final two turns, which are now re-paved to do the banked turn for Formula 1, which was supposed to happen last year, but it happened for the first time this year.
Still there.
You can see here this is the older track, no bank turn. It's still a lot of fun. Let's go take another look at that from the TV cam and see how things went from the outside perspective. You can see no smoke coming off my tires this time, so that's an improvement. Get close one position and the car right next to me is technically ahead, and I pull ahead on the outside of them and can't get around the red car in front of me, so I'm holding in P5 now. See, I tried to get on the inside there and go for a switchback, but they pinched me off and had to ease off the throttle a little bit. Didn't quite get the exit that I wanted. This, for me, is the hardest turn in the track. You really have to trust the downforce and not scrub off the speed like I've been doing there. This is a bit of a train that piled up behind. I don't know if maybe I don't have enough wing angle to take that turn at speed like the cars in front there. You can see a bit of a gap forming. And I'm starting to pull ahead again and close the gap a little bit. Maybe a tenth of a second. Closing that gap right up in the chicane here. There we go, back up to the lead group. Top 5 cars in this race so far on lap 1. I'll try and tuck in behind this car and get some slipstream, and we'll head back to the driver view now to continue on to lap 2. Stick to the outside, the inside line is covered. I'm going to try and do my best to hold some speed, and I think that was 2 cars I just overtook there. And from P5 to P3, let's have another look at that. It's coming down the start-finish straight, going out to the outside of turn 1. Everyone else is covering the inside. I'm just going to carry more speed, and yeah, there's 2 cars overtaken through turn 1. That was nice. Let's jump back into the cockpit now and continue on.
The window opens in 2 minutes.
Once again, having not the greatest exit from that hairpin. Really test your ability to maximize the grip through that turn, because you can see that gap opening up in front of me. It's all because of the exit from that hairpin. And of course, not taking full advantage of the downforce of this car through that right-hander. It's always nerve-wracking. You come over the crest of that hill, and then the track just falls away from you, and you try and stick to the inside of the curve, and you just get washed away to the outside if you don't take it right. Coming up to the chicane once again, I'm going to close that gap to P1 and 2 here. Do my best to stay on them. So this last section of the track is where I have an advantage. Turn 1 and then sector 3 here. The entire middle portion of the circuit, I need to work on that in order to keep on top of the gap that keeps opening up. I'm trying to stay in the slipstream here, and I move over to give myself a little bit more room into the braking. See what I can make of this here. Probably not going to overtake. I got the better of P2. Now I've moved up to try and stay as close to P1 as I can here, but this is the hairpin I have a really hard time getting a good exit on. You have to consider the camber of the track as well as the hill, and the fact that there is no traction control in this car. And I'm still somewhat of a novice when it comes to sim racing, so I don't want to use too much throttle too early and risk spinning out.
Still there. Clear
made
right.
that mistake
Pit
far too
window
many
is
times.
now
You can see
open.
P3 trying to cut up the inside, but I cut him off at the apex there. It wasn't quite alongside me, so I didn't have to give him any room.
Giving us through. You can hold.
Leave a gap there, we'll take it.
Yellow flag sector 2.
Coming up to the chicane once again. Closing that gap to P1.
The gap is now 0.6.
A small gap opening up behind. Coming up on the inside, I don't know if I can make this stick because they're on the outside of this turn, means they can get more speed on the exit.
Still there.
I think they're right beside me now.
Clear
I
left.
can barely see them in the mirror, and there we got
This
it.
is fucking excellent.
See how long
You're
we
in
can
the
hold the
lead.
lead for now.
10 minutes
Try
remaining.
and cover
10
the
minutes.
inside of turn 1, so I'm going to lose a little bit of speed here. I didn't make a move on the outside, that's good. Coming into the section where I am the weakest, this is where they're going to be putting the pressure on. See if I can get a decent exit of hairpin here. Now they're closing the gap, I can see them coming up on the mirror. There's nowhere to overtake until we get over the crest. They might be able to dive up the inside if I leave them room. See, he's trying, he's taking a look, I'm going to cut him off. No space for you. Get out of there.
Car right. Clear right.
I'm going to try and do the same thing here in the braking, so I'm going to get nice and tight on the inside, not leaving any space. Not alongside me, so I don't have to give him any space. Coming down the back sort of straight, up into the heavy braking zone of the chicane. This is where I have confidence, so I can be nice and comfortable here, not having to worry about anyone trying to make a move, because I can brake deeper than the AI can. So this last 2 turns here, opening up a gap behind now. And try and push and keeping over to the right to prevent them from getting into the slipstream behind me, and it looks like now is a good time to go into serve the mandatory pit stop. And we'll see how this shakes things up a little bit. I might come out in the lead, I might come out from behind. Depends what strategies the other drivers are on. Some of them may be waiting until the next lap or the lap after to serve the mandatory pit. Right up until the last minute of the pit window. So it could come out in the midfield and get held up by slower cars. Hopefully there's an empty pocket of no traffic when I come out of the pit. And you can see P2 closing that gap right behind me there, locking up as I come into the turn, almost spinning out, barely recovering, and I've lost P1. Now I'm going to fight again, making a little bit of contact with the rear of their tire there.
Car left. Clear all
And I lost another position from that. Back down to P3 now, but coming up to the heavy braking zone where I have the advantage. Out braking P2 and P1 in one go. That's amazing.
Clear left.
Right through the chicane. I just had the optimal line, and let's have another look at that. I was only trying to overtake one, but I saw the gap. You can see I lost control there. Didn't quite spin out though. Trying to stay in between the two of them. Not getting the greatest exit. Falling back to P3. A little bit of a toe. And then moving over to go to the inside and out braking both of them. That apex was wide open, so I just went for it. No contact between any of us. It was all clean and fair. Moving on now. Back to the cockpit view. Going to finish the lap and dive into the pit lane. So I suspect half the grid is probably going to pit now. And the other half will pit just before the window closes.
135.51.
So I'm going to add a little bit of fuel just in case I was running a little bit late. I'd rather have too much than not enough. Just having to pit another time to get 2 liters of fuel, it's not worth it. My pit stop is going to be 3 seconds longer than mandatory.
Hold on, go.
So that's going to hurt a little bit.
There's a car behind. Take care, rejoin him.
Still holding
Left
position
side,
relative
clear
to the
left.
car behind. Probably could have gone into T1 a little bit more aggressive, but I couldn't quite see where the car coming up was. I know crew chief mentioned there was a car behind, but I couldn't quite see them.
The window closes in
So
2
I have
minutes.
a little bit extra work to do to make up for it, because I don't know whether that car is on the same lap as me or whether they've yet to serve their pit stop. Right now we're square in the midfield, but until everyone else has served their pit stop, you don't know where you actually are. So I'm just going to try my best to hold this position, maintain some good pace, not make any more mistakes. Of course, knowing me, that's a tall order. We'll see how things go.
De Villiers is entering the pits. He's in P1. Looks like he'll come out just in front of you. The leader, De Villiers, is pitting.
Really trying to close the gap between me and the car in front now.
5 minutes to go. 5 minutes left. Pit window closes in 1 minute.
Let's see what they do. Are they going into the pit? They're not going into the pit, so they must have already served. Change their fronts. Maybe top off and get a fuel.
10th position.
Now I am in P3, P2.
Still there.
Fighting for
Right side's
P2.
clear.
There we go. So now I know for certain that the driver in front is in the lead. So I've got the work cut out for me here to try and defend from P3 behind. He's going to try and make a move probably around here where I'm slower. I'm holding the position, almost going into the grass there, trying to cut off the inside so they can't get up a position there on me. Oh, they're going to take a look there, outbraking them just enough. Looks like they had a little bit of tire slip coming out of that section, got a little bit wobbly. Closing that gap again, just up on my right side, just behind me. And they're not going to be able to outbrake me and coming in the chicane here. This is where I have the most confidence compared to these AI cars. Of course, these AI aren't quite as predictable as the ones in some of the other racing sims. A lot of AI tend to follow a specific line, and these ones seem to be a little more adapted to where you are on track. They'll defend, they'll attack, they'll do something a little bit unpredictable.
He's still there.
Make a few mistakes here and there. Oh, and you can see I've made a little bit of contact, getting too aggressive, trying to take the position. Coming up to the end of the race now, and if I don't make a move, I'm not going to get one, and almost spinning out, hitting the barrier, probably damaging my front wing a little bit. Well, let's try and pick up and move on from here. Falling back a few positions. Might be able to make up one of them before the end of the race. We'll see how things go. Right now I am under attack, so I have to defend against that car with the flame decal. See, they're dropping back in the rearview mirror there. So that's a good sign. Opening up a little bit of a gap. And once again coming into the heavy braking of the chicane where I know I can outbrake the AI, so it's not a big concern for defending that position. Getting a bit closer to the cars in front here. Might be able to make a move at the end of the start-finish straight. Try and get in the toe here. And going to go up the inside and outbrake them into turn 1 as I know I can. Have one more position. I think it's P4 now. You can see the podium cars out in front. Pressure is on. So we're back up to P4 where we started at the beginning of the race. We're in the points, which is good, but I would really like to move up in the champion standing. I think right now I'm in P2. I have to check. I could be leading. Under attack once again for position. See ever so often. Oh, you can see he's coming up on the inside on the right there, in the rearview mirror. And he did not get the better of me through that section of the race. And now there's no pressure. I've got the upper hand in the last section here. Now I can focus on closing the gap to the cars in front once again.
Last lap. You've just done at 1:35.63.
Down into turn 1, closing the gap on the lead pack here. Little by little, closing by tenths. Coming up to the section of track that I have the most difficulty. From this exit on. Don't see anyone coming up in the rear view mirror, so we've got a little bit of comfort. This is the most challenging turn for me. Always fall behind there. You can see a car behind is closing in real fast. I think overall I'm slowly closing the gap to the lead cars there. I don't know if I'll be able to make a move before the race is over or not. Once again under pressure from the car behind. In the heavy braking zone before the chicane. And I've really closed the gap now on the lead cars. Still too far to make a move, I think. Unless something catastrophic happens to the lead pack here, I think we might have to settle for P4 in this. Although we've got a really good exit on this turn. Is this it, or do we have one more lap? One more lap. Let's see what we can make of it. Coming up the inside, trying to take another position here. And it looks like we've got it done. We're up to P3.
Well done, Captain Slot. Good pass. Eyes front.
Braking a bit deeper into the hairpin than I usually do. Let's see if I compromise in my exit. staying a bit closer to the lead than I usually do. They pull away a lot quicker through the previous laps of the race. See the car behind getting a bit closer in my rearview mirror there. Not close enough to make an attack here. Really heavy on the curbs on the inside, trying not to give them an inch. See, they really tried to take up the peak to the inside. Oh, now we're really having a fight here. Drag down the back straight.
Still there.
I've got the upper hand coming into the braking zone because I'm on the inside and I can outbrake them.
You've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
Into the chicane one last time. It's going to be close. Probably won't be able to make a move on P2 here, but it looks like I'm going to have a solid podium. Oh, this is close, and not quite.
Great drive.
That's a solid P3, 1 car length behind P2. That was a heck of a finish, if I do say so myself. That was an exciting race. On one of the more difficult circuits, Zandvoort. And there is your race winner, P2 and P3 coming into the pit lane after the cool down lap. Now let's go and have a look at the driver times and the championship standings. So that puts me solidly in P1 for the championship standings. P3 in that race, and what did I get? A 134.4. So, I'm happy with that. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.